Hello, Dr. Coker here, and this is Chapter 2 of the story of Hildibrand Manderville from Final Fantasy XIV, A Realm Reborn, Patch 2.2. I'll continue to refer to the player character as Ritter to keep this simple and consistent. Let's get started. Back in Eastern Thanalan, the reporter Ellie claims to have identified the weapon that the thieving duelist is looking for. She calls it the Treaty Blade and says it belonged to an Ishgardian noble, but was purchased by the wife of a wealthy merchant living in Vesper Bay. She investigated the woman and found she has a fondness for rare flowers that can be bought in Camp Drybone. Ritter and Ellie buy the flower from Tutusi, the flower merchant in Camp Drybone. Just then, a curt gentleman accuses a villager of murder, but he denies it. The gentleman cleverly extracts a confession from him when he claims he can't shoot a bow, yet he has veteran archer's calluses on his hands. The archer says he did it for his sister, but the brass blades take him away. Ellie is impressed with his confidence, and Tutusi refers to Hildibrand as a buffoon. Ritter and Ellie head for Vesper Bay and meet with Dorilda, the woman who possesses the Treaty Blade. Despite being gifted a rare flower, Dorilda is rude to them and tells them to leave. She says she already knows someone plans to steal her blade, but she has a legion of guards at her disposal and has hired a peerless inspector. Just then, Hildibrand and Nashu arrive. Hildibrand swears he shall neither slumber nor sleep until the fiend who covets the Treaty Blade is brought to justice. As Dorilda scowls at Hildibrand, the curt gentleman approaches. He introduces himself as Briardian and offers to work her case for free, referring to Hildibrand and Nashu as amateurs. He then leaves, and Dorilda tells the others to leave as she doesn't need them anymore. But just then, a young girl named Maria walks in, who Dorilda scolds for dropping a vase. Hildibrand steps in, offering to find the vase for her. He speaks with Maria, who says she dropped it at Nofika's wells. Ellie says she's going to follow Briardian, while the other four head out looking for the vase. Ritter asks around for clues at Nofika's wells. Multiple witnesses report seeing the girl drop the vase in the water and confirm there was a frightening flying creature that spooked her. One flamboyantly dressed man is searching the water, but Ritter notices something at his feet. It turns out to be the broken vase. The flamboyant man isn't interested. He's angry and says that an accursed flying creature absconded with his weapon. Hildibrand says he has an idea, but first they gather all the pieces of the vase. He says there is one goldsmith he knows with the skill to repair it. He says a gang of thieves once tried to rob his shop, but they were found beaten and bound the following morning. The thieves revealed nothing, but just repeatedly said, "The hammer, the hammer." The flamboyant man introduces himself as Gilgamesh and says that his companion, the green rooster, is named Enkidu. Well, actually, he says the real Enkidu is missing, so he just took a rooster and painted it green. Hildibrand welcomes him to join them, calling him Greg. Gilgamesh says he may call him Gil, but Hildibrand still calls him Greg. The party leaves for northern Thanalan to search for the legendary goldsmith. They find a basilisk carcass, and it appears to have been slain with a hammer, so it appears they're on the right track. They continue to find multiple carcasses, including one of a large chimera. Hildibrand says there is one thing he must do, the Manderville dance. He says his father taught him this dance, and that it will draw out their quarry. Now that he has taught Ritter their family secret, he says Ritter must do the dance as well. Staring at the mangled chimera corpse, Ritter knows what must be done. It works, and the man himself arrives. He says he is Godbert, and asks who taught Ritter this dance. Godbert scolds his son Hildibrand for disappearing for 10 years. Hildibrand asks him to cease his undulations and repair the broken vase for the poor girl so they can catch the thieving duelist. Godbert, the master goldsmith, whips it back into shape in no time. But then he adds an extra touch and makes it sparkle and shine. Maria says her mother will not like this, but Gilgamesh says she might, then mentions he's a duelist himself and can't wait to duel the thieving duelist. Hildibrand says he appreciates Greg's sense of justice, but they must now return to Vesper Bay. Back in Vesper Bay, unsurprisingly, Dorilda is still angry and says the vase is trash. Ellie defends Maria just as Godbert arrives, offended after overhearing that Dorilda thinks his work is trash. Dorilda seems surprised and treats Godbert with great respect, and then it's revealed that he has a seat at the syndicate. She says she loves the vase and would also gladly have Hildibrand on the case. Outside, Hildibrand tells Briardian he's officially on the case, and Briardian agrees to share his info, saying he doesn't think Hildibrand is competent enough to make use of it anyway. He says he commissioned several fake treaty blades to be made, and will have them transported via alternate routes to Vesper Bay to lure out the thief. Ellie says the thief is said to wear red, be garishly dressed, and wield a halberd. Briardian leaves, and Gilgamesh arrives, asking what warrior would go around in impractical clothing. Hildibrand says it's time to move forward, posing as smallfolk in Kurthis to observe the roads where the thief might show up. They approach one of the guards in Kurthis, but Hildibrand and Gilgamesh run off to look for the thief. The guard suggests readers speak with another guard at the east gate. At the east gate, Hildibrand thinks he has spotted the thief, then calls out saying it's just Greg. After a little more empty-handed investigating, Hildibrand says that the thief must have found out that the legendary gentleman inspector was pursuing him and decided to renounce his criminal ways. Ellie says he should investigate more outside the city walls and take a weapon. Nashu finds a nice spear in the snow and they head off together. Down the road a little later, they keep their eyes peeled and Gilgamesh says he knows his weapon must be nearby. After many hours of looking, Hildibrand asks Greg why he wants his weapon so badly. He says it was a great spear with a musket barrel and an axe head, and anyone who saw it would understand how special it is. Enkidu the rooster starts clucking like crazy at Nashu's weapon. Then Gilgamesh stands astonished, realizing it's his missing spear. Hildibrand says this is nonsense and that he took this very spear to the moon 5 years ago. Ellie arrives to congratulate Hildibrand, believing that Gilgamesh is the thieving duelist caught in the act. But Hildibrand says Greg is an honest man, and it couldn't be him. Gilgamesh says this is right, and every weapon he has claimed has been his trophy from winning duels. Briardian calls this a confession and orders him seized. He escapes, then Hildibrand says his plan to secure a confession was flawless, and now he will catch him. Ritter follows after them and finds Hildibrand in a predicament. Atop the big bridge, Ritter finds Gilgamesh ready and eager for a duel. Ritter accepts the challenge and easily defeats him.
Well then. That's enough of a beating for now.
After the fight, Ritter tells Briardian what happened, and since Gilgamesh left with the halberd, he deems it safe to deliver the treaty blade to Vesper Bay. Back in Vesper Bay, Briardian delivers the treaty blade to Dorilda and she's pleased. She leaves, and just a moment later, she arrives asking for the treaty blade. Since they just gave it to her a moment ago, Briardian runs off thinking the first Dorilda was an imposter. He finds a mask on the ground. Ellie remarks that Gilgamesh never spoke of the treaty blade, only his halberd. As they ponder the situation, a card flies by and lodges itself into Briardian's forehead. He reads the card and it says, 400 years have I slept, 100 faces do I wear. What is yours will be mine. I shall come to claim the Lapis Maiden's virtue. Once again, Hildibrand accepts the Cardslinger's challenge. Even Darilda can't help but laugh. A sneak preview of the next Hildibrand adventure.